Andrew Tate has a ton of kids. He has a ton of kids. He just doesn't like raise them. They're just like with the.
Does he really?
Yeah, he
just doesn't know about them.
No,
I would guarantee
he's like,
that
they show up in
children.
videos and stuff.
I would guarantee that man has children somewhere. He boasts too much about his conquering.
No, he does. There's like he has they show up there's like a little girl that shows up in some of his videos and he talks about it, and he even say like, oh, if you're not having sex to have kids, then you're gay. That's what he means. And then somebody else asked him somewhere else like, oh, how many kids do you have? And then he was like, well, how many do you have? And he said 3 or something. He's like, well, that's gay. He's like, he's like, well, how many do you have? And he like eventually got to be like, it was more than 10. He basically said he had more than 10. Yeah.
More than 10?
Yes.
That's Nick Cannon levels. That's like,
but he's not
Elon
Nick
Musk
Cannon.
stuff.
He's not Nick Cannon raising him. I mean, I'm sure he like gives the chick money or something, but yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's why he switched to, Islam so that he could have multiple wives.
Right. He doesn't even have wives though, I thought. Isn't he not married? I mean, that's what he said.
He definitely has a harem of women.
He has all rhetoric, and we don't have any facts on him.
He's always preaching about marriage, and he'll backtrack I can't stand this man. He'll backtrack and be like, "Oh no, I support marriage, blah, 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 blah." And then, but he talks about how people need to run around with all these women. So which is it, bro? The whole point of Islam.
That's why he switched to Islam, so he could have many wives.
Many wives, but did he actually marry them?
Does it matter? I mean, like, it's like married within the church to them, isn't it? Does it matter if they like get legally married or not?
Well, that's fine. That's okay if you don't want to get married by a legal system. Sure.
I think it's just like married, whatever, married in front of God or something. I don't think he's. Yeah,
for somebody who preaches, don't get married. Wait, what?
There's a lot of good advice out there from these red pill people.
I can't.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean. Yeah, they have really great advice. None of it applies to me, which is awesome. So
none of it applies to them either.
I don't think any of it applies to me at this point either.
I don't actually think they give. I mean, I'm just gonna say I don't really think. I guess like some of the red pill people maybe do give advice, but most of them don't. Most of it's just prescribing problems. Like there's really not advice being given. If you really listen to their content, it's more just like, well, this is just how it is. So now you just make decisions accordingly. Because that's just how it is. And then they're like, okay, well, what's the solution? I don't have a solution. I'm just telling you how things are. And you're like, okay. And then, but like there's conflicting advice that inherently goes into that, right? Because it'll say things like, well, a woman should be a virgin when she gets married, but a man should also have sex with at least 50 women before he gets married. And so it's like, well, then who the hell are these guys having sex with? And like, where are these women supposed to end up? Like, where are the women that are one of the 50 going to end up? Like, it's just like, who are they going to get with? And it's like, well, they'll get with, I guess, low value guys like betas. And then, then the high value guys will obviously have like, 12 women, and that's just how it'll be. And then there's a whole cheating thing too, where they're also trying to be like, oh yeah, cheating's fine. Like if you're with a guy and like he's taking care of you, it's fine. He's cheating. And I'm like, so are you guys really all just trying to like bring like Islam into the Western world? Because like all of it really feels like that, right? It all feels like so very male centered. The man can have sex with many, many, many women. Like, but like the women,
and they don't want women educated.
Is so important, right?
Be okay with whatever.
And the women shouldn't vote. Women shouldn't vote.
And they shouldn't be educated like the Taliban.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, so where is this leading? Because this sounds a lot like an Islamic country that you're describing. Like women don't vote. It's illegal to be gay. All this stuff that you're like preaching. I'm like, so you really just want like there to be, Islam in the West is really what you're trying to say, because that's where it all leads. It's very odd.
I'm glad you made that point, because I'm very concerned about that, to the point that I don't even identify with whatever's going on, on the right in these like trad movements and the manosphere. I'm like, no one's seeing this. Heidi's seeing it.
Yeah, I'm seeing it because I'm a little bit one step removed to be like, wait a minute, this is this is definitely a psyop. This is some weird stuff going on, because it doesn't fit with our culture. Like Western culture doesn't really jive with that stuff. Like most people are pretty much like, yeah, it's cool if people are gay, just do your own thing, don't mess with kids, just stay over there and be cool, and like no one cares. But then this whole movement is like, bringing back things like, I mean, Pearl said to me, like, I think being gay should be illegal. I don't know if she was joking or not, but it's just like, I'm like, okay, sure. Like how are you going to do that? I will just like banish everybody to an island or something. And I'm like, okay. I mean, like that's kind of funny, but it's not.
If
it's like
it's
not
illegal
realistic.
to be gay, who's gonna give you your much needed makeover at Sephora? Pearl? You know, just go in there by yourself.
It'll be tough, but yeah, you know, a lot of like this weird homophobic rhetoric, and then the anti-woman stuff, and it just seems all very, it just seems very backwards. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you can just move to a country that's like this if this is what you actually like really like. There's some, you know, there's available places for you to go. You don't have to live in the US where we have, you know, Western values. I mean, and
that's what he did. He went to Dubai or something. He was like he famously
that's what they're all doing. Look at all the people that are Andrew Tate or Andrew Tate adjacent. They start talking about multiple wives, like that Sneeko guy. I think Sneeko was even hanging out with Pearl. There was a video of them hanging out, and he was talking about, oh yeah, like, you know, and how I'm gonna have a second wife, blah 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 blah. And she was like, oh, you're gonna have a second wife? And he's like, yeah, I mean the first one first, and then, you know, and then I have a second one. And
who has the money for all these weddings?
I don't know.
Who has the money for all these wives?
So hold on. Does the family of the first wife get invited to the wedding? And then what table do they sit at?
I don't know. Do you have weddings? I don't know how it works.
I don't know either. What I've heard from the very few people growing up in Vegas that came from Utah,
or like Mormons, okay, yeah,
the Mormon side of things,
not mainstream Mormons though.
Yeah, no, not the mainstream ones, but they're what? And listen, I don't know, I didn't research it. It was like 10 years, 20 years ago, but they were like, there's a hierarchy. So you have multiple wives, but there's, again, I don't know for sure, but there's a hierarchy. So you have Hannah,
like Care Bears, like you each
the first wife, she's queen bee.
Yeah,
she gets priority over all the other wives,
and sense.
So they had, at least the family I talked to, had weddings for each of their wives. He had 4, but Hannah was queen, so she sat at the bride and groom table. So she was to his left, I think she said. I think it was the left, yeah. And then the right, and then the new bride sat on the left.
I would trip them in their first dance. I'd be like, oops.
Yep. And she got to sit with she approves all the wives. She approved all of the wives, but she's queen. Wow. So she's like the queen bee.
So she's like,
that's like kind of ideal. That would be like my second most ideal position, I think. Like besides,
I mean, so I don't know if Islam is the same, but yeah.
Well, besides being like lesbian married, I think like if I had to live in a culture, then they'd be like, okay, Heidi, but you could be like the queen of like this like harem, and you get to decide all the women that come into it. And I'm like, okay,
you're just trying to get more wives.
Like, so wait a minute,
it's like a loophole for you,
not for me.
Yeah. Like,
that's like the only.
Curious.
Sneeko.
She got to approve them all, and he would like bring them in, and they would go on dates together, and she would decide on whether or not, like, there was like a big, and I don't know if this is normal or if this was just this family, but she was like, yes, you can, I like this one, you can keep her, basically. And so they ended up having
to watch them have sex. How does that go? Does she
no, they're on a schedule.
Like, no, don't do that.
She's probably just relieved that she's like, it's
hey,
like, yeah, relieve me.
Like, don't do that. The thing is,
they're on a schedule.
Only I get to do that.
They are on a schedule.
She's probably just thrilled for some relief. She's just like, get him.
If it was me, I'd be like, cycle base it. I'm on my period. Go to your second wife. I don't want to deal with you. Bye. But I don't know. I know they're on a schedule. I mean,
I think that'd be the main benefit to me.
The main benefit is that you could be left alone for like 50% of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys like personal space, but I love that idea. Like, you're gonna like a dude leaving me alone is a big draw.
Yeah, I love it too. I mean, if I had to be married to a dude, that's the only way I could have it. Like, I'd be like, okay.
The other benefit is, and I love the saying, it takes a village. And so, like, you literally have that village with you. So if you're raising kids, you have all these other women that are with you that can help raise your babies. You raise each other's babies. There's like you have this little harem of women that is also your village, that you guys raise these kids together, so you don't have to be stay at home by yourself and not have, like, especially if you live far away from your family, you know, that saying comes, it takes village, because we all used to live so close to our parents and our grandparents and our whatevers, and so we would all raise the children together in our cute little communities. We don't have that anymore, so I guess that's a benefit of multiple wives, but also I would knock you out.
Wait, let's say somebody has 4 wives and you're on the 4th wife.
Yeah.
Do you have sex still with the first one, or do you just move along?
No. As far as I know, they rotate.
Yeah, they keep
keep
rotating.
There's a schedule. There was a schedule. I don't know if he's gotten any more.
That's how they can have like 20 kids.
You guys remember this Sister Wives
Mm-hmm.
show?
Yeah.
I think the first wife got kicked off the rotation. Like I suspect.
Oh, no.
I don't think it always stays fresh. Mm-hmm. I think she ran away and finally like is living her life happily. So good for her.
Okay.
I mean,
some of those are escaped wives.
She bought a Live, Laugh, Love pillow from Marshall's, and she's doing fine now.
So you can always take it further and be like, well, if you're taking Pearl's in the red pill advice into consideration, once your first wife hits 35, that's it. You can't have sex with her anymore because she won't provide you anything.
And shoot her.
Take her out.
Off to the glue factory.